This week, DocuSign phishing, Netflix DRM, cracking down on tech support scammers, Chrome vulnerabilities, securing your cockpit, hacking your car is easier than ever before, and Wi-Fi radar. Jason Wood joins us for our expert commentary on 7 men charged as part of Operation Tech Trap, led by the FTC in a global tech support scamming. You think they could have come up with a better name? All that and more on this episode of Hack Naked News. This is Security Weekly, for security professionals, by security professionals. Broadcasting live from G-Unit Studios in Rhode Island, it's the show that brings you the security news each week. And despite popular belief, we do wear pants. It's Hack Naked News. Brought to you by... Do you have a website, an external presence, employees, an office? Any of these things can be compromised and attacked. How are you defending these assets? Have you penetration tested these public assets? Start 2017 by taking a proactive approach to securing your vulnerable areas. Black Hills Information Security has been helping companies find their weaknesses since 2008. Email consulting@blackhillsinfosec.com and see how they can help you sleep better at night. Gain control of cyber risk with Tenable.io, the first vulnerability management platform built for today's elastic assets like cloud, containers, and web apps. Discover a fresh, asset-based approach that prioritizes vulnerabilities while seamlessly integrating into your environment. And improve ROI with the first elastic licensing approach based on assets, not IP addresses. Tenable.io delivers the data and context you need to secure your elastic attack surface. Start your free Tenable.io trial today by visiting Tenable.io. Welcome to Hack Naked News for May 16th, 2017. I'm your host, Paul Asadorian, reporting on the non-WannaCry security news for this week. Believe it or not, other stuff happened. But first, an update from our sponsor, IT Pro TV. Their courses now include Apple Certified Support Professional, CompTIA Security Plus, and ITIL Planning, Protection, and Optimization. Premium annual memberships include all video content as well as access to virtual labs and Q&A forums. You normally pay $85.70 a month or $857 per year, but we've got a special offer for our listeners and viewers. For a limited time, get 30% off monthly membership for the lifetime of your active subscription by visiting itpro.tv/hacknaked and using the discount code HN30. Come check out Wild West Hackin' Fest. It's put on by Red Team specialists from Black Hills Information Security for anybody and everybody interested in information security. Join us on October 27th and 28th for hands-on hardware hacking talks by infamous InfoSecers like Dave Kennedy, Deviant, Egypt, Chris Nickerson, Chris Gates, Mike Poore, Subt, and more. Check them out at Wild West Hackin' Fest. That's HACKIN Fest.com. On to the news for this week. DocuSign has been in the news as they had a breach of a non-critical system. Attackers were then able to launch a phishing campaign from a DocuSign server, allowing emails to look more legitimate than usual. The emails of DocuSign users were leaked during the attack, but no other information is known to be leaked. Just your DocuSign email address associated with DocuSign. DocuSign warned its user base not to open Word macro-laden emails with specific subject lines such as wire transfer for recipient name, document ready for signature, and accounting invoice, a number, document ready for signature. So make sure you look for those subject lines and don't click on stuff, even if it comes from DocuSign. Netflix confirms it's blocking rooted/unlocked devices. However, the app itself still works. Netflix started showing up as incompatible on the Play Store for rooted and unlocked Android devices. However, the app itself continued to work just fine. Netflix has released this statement. With our latest 5.0 release, we now fully rely on Widevine DRM provided by Google. Therefore, many devices that are not Google certified or have been altered will no longer work with our latest app, and those users will no longer see the Netflix app in the Play Store. Hooray for DRM or not. However, Netflix does have a pretty big responsibility as a content maintainer/manager, especially after some unreleased episodes of its own shows were posted to the internet, as previously reported on this show and other major security news outlets. The FTC has launched a crackdown on tech support scammers. On Friday of last week, the FTC, along with federal, state, and international law enforcement partners, announced that the coordinated effort includes 16 civil and criminal legal actions, including complaints, settlements, indictments, and guilty pleas against tech support scammers that trick consumers into believing their computers are infected with viruses and malware, which they probably are, and then charge them hundreds of dollars for unnecessary repairs. Scammers are reported on charging victims credit cards for between $300 and $500 for bogus technical support. Good to see the FTC is involved with some of the higher tech scams and are working with law enforcement. Let's hope this trend continues, because those attacks are annoying. The Chrome browser has been hacked. A vulnerability in Google Chrome's browser allows attackers to automatically download a malicious file onto a victim's PC that could be used to steal credentials and launch SMB relay attacks. The attack is described in detail on the link in the show notes for this episode and seems to extend beyond Chrome as into other web browsers, but limited to Windows systems. The researchers have not reported this flaw to Google, and Google has said they are investigating. Car security experts have dumped all of their research and vulnerabilities online, as reported by Hackaday. Earlier this week, Charlie Miller and Chris Valesic released all of their research on car hacking, including on the site is all tools, data, and presentations for your car hacking pleasure. FCA, the corporation that owns Jeep, who's the primary victim of some of these attacks, has many vulnerable vehicles, is not happy about this, stating, "Under no circumstances does FCA condone or believe it's appropriate to disclose how-to information that would potentially encourage or help enable hackers to gain unauthorized and unlawful access to vehicle systems." They sound like a fun bunch, huh? United Airlines says the cockpit door, information on how to access the cockpit door may have been leaked. United Airlines said in a safety alert emailed to employees that information regarding its flight deck access security procedures may have been compromised, and some cockpit door access information may have been made public. The rumor is the access codes to the cockpit doors are reported as being leaked, and they are required to be changed manually, and the rumor is that is in the works for United's planes. Probably the most significant story of this week, which could lead to really bad things happening, is that HP laptops covertly log your keystrokes. HP is selling more than 24 models of laptops and tablets that covertly monitor every keystroke a user makes, security researchers warned last Thursday. The device then stores the key presses in an unencrypted file on the hard drive. Let me just repeat that. The software stores your keystrokes in an unencrypted file on your hard drive. An audio device driver has debugging turned on that logs all keystrokes into a clear text file, /users/public/mic-tray.log. It's overwritten after each computer reboot, but there are several ways the contents could survive for weeks or even indefinitely. It seems there is no fix at this time. There's always Linux. Using Wi-Fi to get 3D images of a surrounding location, the radio signals emitted by a commercial Wi-Fi router can act as kind of a radar, providing images of the transmitter's environment. According to new experiments, two researchers in Germany borrowed techniques from field of holography to demonstrate Wi-Fi imaging. They found the technique could potentially allow users to peer through walls and could provide images 10 times per second. Just putting that one on your radar. Jason Wood is here with expert commentary on the FTC's investigation into tech support scammers. But first, a word from our sponsors. IT Pro TV, an easy, entertaining approach to online IT training. Access over 2,000 hours of up-to-date, high-quality video content live and on demand for a free 7-day trial and 30% off the lifetime of your account. Visit itpro.tv/hacknaked and use the code HN30. Has your network been breached? Cybereason can help you answer this question. Cybereason products hunt for threats within your network and eliminate them in real time. To Cybereason, real time means within seconds. Founded by former military hackers who don't play by the rules, they've built this experience into their platform. Harness ingenuity and imagination, not just code, to defeat attackers. Cybereason. Disrupt the adversary and let the hunt begin. Welcome back. I'm here to tell you not just about AnyCon. Well, actually, I am here to tell you about AnyCon, the first hacker conference of its kind in Albany, New York. The event will take place on June 16th and 17th at the brand new Albany Convention Center in, you guessed it, downtown Albany, New York. The event features a Capture the Flag competition, hardware hacking village, and a ping pong tournament. Several tracks are being offered, and it is a family-friendly event. The keynote will be delivered by none other than Dave Kennedy, unless it's Dave Kennedy's clone, which we're speculating that he does have a clone or two. Security Weekly will be there recording Hacker Movie trivia segments and giving away Security Weekly t-shirts and Hacker Movie-themed glassware. Go to anycon.info/tickets to register today. Security Weekly listeners can use the code PAUL, P-A-U-L, and get 25% off your ticket. The SANS Pen Test Hackfest Summit call for presentations is now open. Hosted by renowned SANS instructor and hacker Ed Scotus, they are looking for presentations on new attack techniques, remediation, challenges to existing security methodologies, and improving the business value of penetration testing. Send your submissions to pentestcfp@sans.org by 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Friday, May 26th, with the subject line, SANS Pen Test Hackfest Summit CFP 2017. The event will take place on November 13th and 14th at the Hyatt Regency in Bethesda, Maryland. In Maryland, in Bethesda, Maryland. I always say that wrong. Why do I say that wrong? Anyway, it's not the first or last time I'll say anything wrong. Hopefully here to say things right is Jason Wood from Paladin Security. Jason, welcome to the show.
Hey, Paul. How's it going?
It's going fantastic. So it's interesting. We kind of had overlapping stories. I talked about how the FTC was collaborating with law enforcement agencies to take down these tech support scammers. You highlighted an article that was specific to a case in Florida.
Correct. So this is kind of an interesting one. Caught my attention. We have, like you mentioned earlier, we've got the FTC responding to, and other organizations responding to these tech support scammers in civil claims. So basically, using that as a method for shutting them down, confiscating assets, and things like that. What caught my eye about this article is that Donald Boyce, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Illinois, announced that they are actually pursuing criminal charges against one particular outfit. So now we're going beyond just shutting the place down. They're looking at locking up some of these individuals who have committed this type of scam. And I'm sure everybody has gotten, some variation on this, phone call or a pop-up or whatnot on a website that informs you that your computer is absolutely hosed, or they're from the Windows Support Center or what have you. Very annoying, particularly when they tell you that you don't know anything about computers, and they do. But and they can fix your Windows system even though you're running on Linux or a Mac. Always get a kick out of that one when I actually bothered to mess with them a little bit. But this particular organization, it was named Client Care Experts, or formerly First Choice Tech Support, was shut down last year by the Florida Attorney General, and in a civil case. And then this year, now we've got the U.S. Attorney in Illinois, who is pursuing criminal charges. And they've actually got a couple of people against 7 individuals, a couple of whom have already pled guilty to the charges. They are accused of victimizing over 40,000 people. And get this, to the tune of $25 million. Wow. So if you've wondered how popular or profitable this sort of thing could be, it's apparently profitable. That's over a 3-year period. So their victims were all throughout the United States, all 50 states in the country, as well as territories and Canadian provinces. So personally, I'm happy to see this.
Yeah, me too.
I hate seeing these guys. I hate getting the phone calls and knowing that they're ripping people off. I did have somebody, it wasn't this particular outfit, but I did have a friend call me up, panicked, because she had an ad pop up on her computer with audio informing her that her computer was compromised and had all these problems. She called the 1-800 number like it told her to and like I told her never to. And they charged her over $700 and then put her on some kind of subscription plan where they would perform regular maintenance on her system to keep this from ever happening again, to the tune of $150, $200 or something like that per month. So it is interesting to see this happen, to see law enforcement get involved and now start pursuing criminal charges. One of the things that I've always wondered with these outfits is they get shut down on civil, in a civil case. The guys are free to start up a new business. Oddly enough, I always pictured a lot of this being outsourced overseas to where things would be cheaper for labor. But they actually, this company in particular, had what they called kind of a boiler room style operation where they had a bunch of people in a room inside in Florida performing this activity. And it was very deliberate. Their sales script was set up to route people through to the point that, hey, now we've got you freaked out. We're going to move you straight to, no matter what is going on, obviously, on the system, we're going to move you straight to charging you $300, $500 or more dollars to fix problems that don't exist, and then sign you up for some kind of subscription plan so that they keep making money off of you every month. Each of the salespeople worked on commission, so they had lots of incentive to do nastiness. As they're being charged as well with conspiracy to commit wire fraud. And
yeah,
they're going after.
Is it like a double whammy? Is this they're charging them under CFAA and fraud charges as well? I would think they. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be one on TV either, but.
Yeah, I don't know. There's the article says they're charging them under the Scams Act, the Computer Fraud Abuse Act. I believe has the idea that you can't do anything to a computer without permission, and these guys are essentially getting permission to have them open up a remote connection to your system and mess with you. So maybe that doesn't apply. I don't know. I have not any kind of lawyer. Regardless, these guys are facing up to 5 years, maximum penalty of 30 years in prison. They can also be ordered to serve 5 years of supervised release after any imprisonment and can be fined up to $250,000 plus restitution to the victims. And like you said in the article earlier, there are other agencies that are now looking at these guys as well. So I'm just happy to see this going on. I've talked to folks who have worked, on cases around this and described some of the things that have gone on, what these guys are doing. And they're just as shady as can be. Scare the crap out of people who, they don't necessarily know any better, or they just get the emotions rolling. And next thing you know, they rip them off for $500 or more. So good news out there. It's kind of to me, this is kind of a little bit of a feel good story for us to see somebody who is perpetrating this kind of stuff actually looking at some jail time now.
That's awesome. Well, Jason Wood, thank you very much for the expert commentary today. And that concludes this episode of Hack Naked News. Thanks everyone for listening and watching. See you next time.